I'm shifting over to English because I just fished Guy out of the crowd. Very interesting guy. We've been talking for a while now, and I'm going to let him just tell a little bit about himself. What is he doing here today? What do you do on your day-to-day basis?
I mean, so the main reason.
What's your name? Let's start with the basic.
His name's Guy.
My name's Guy Seemann, actually.
That was C9 behind the camera over there.
Yeah,
yes.
Right.
Backseat driving.
So my name's Guy. Very nice to meet you guys. Thanks for taking the time. Bottom line is I've been working in government for many years, helping first the U.S. government, then the Israeli government, develop long-term strategies and different types of policies, organizations, and startup projects. Then I went all last year. I spent the entire year in Haiti, running Israel's development operation in Haiti. And then when I came back about a year ago, as opposed to going back to government and working in the system, I decided I wanted to bring those skills to the private world that can actually help people from the grassroots. I wanted to create more grassroots initiatives, use the skills that I had in the public sector and also in the developing world, and then bring them to the private sector, which is what where we're at today. A lot of people here who are ideas people, who are tech people, and that really need the ability to help to actually start up a project in terms of creating a mass amount of people that will get behind it, creating this future strategies, which I did in the government, helping develop the project into the future, looking 20 years into the future and then working backwards, developing what are the real needs and what are the specific issues, that the X factors that maybe you haven't looked at, and all those things I learned in my past life. So I came here to try to help a lot of different organizations here, a lot of apps, startups, whatever we want to call them here at one point, work in the right way and start up in the correct way, how to build their momentum from the ground up and then make sure they don't make mistakes into the future.
So what would you say the major challenges, the major obstacles that stand in the way of a startup company or a high-tech company which is trying to develop something for the third world? I'm assuming it is very different than an app or a startup or for first world.
Right.
So what are the challenges that they have to deal with?
So there are a series of different challenges. Usually the first challenge is that there's actually a very, very basic challenge, the lack of field experience. So people have great ideas, like saying helping people start up a farm, right? However, most people haven't actually been in Africa, in rural Africa, actually helping start up a farm. So maybe they have the idea, but they don't know all the small little nuances and the future strategies and sustainability models that you really need to start up a farm. So maybe you have a great app that connects a farmer to helping him develop the right water resources or when to water the right things. However, if you don't go into the field and actually research about what are the transportation issues, what are the road issues, what are the cultural issues in the villages, what is their access to microgrants or microfinance, if you don't think about all those different things, your app will basically be for naught.
Plain Farmville is not enough. So if you go down to Africa and help people start farms.
So first thing is field experience, bottom line field experience. The second thing is also strategic initiatives. So people nowadays are also developing so many different applications for the third world because it's now the thing to do. What I'm trying to do is also help people take a step back and look at all the different nuances that you need to really help start up your app and do it in the right way where it's culturally acceptable and that's also realistic. That's the other big thing is reality. Again, great ideas are coming up left and right. However, if you don't have someone who really can say, okay, take a minute, look 20 years into the future, see where progress is taking us, see where technology is taking us, see what the real needs are. Is this app, one, applicable to today? Two, is this app realistic? Can you penetrate the market? Can you get into those rural villages in Africa and actually get farmers to download an app on their phones? Can you approach the cell phone companies in different rural and African villages and say, listen, put this app on your phone when you sell it to your customers, and it will help them in X, Y, and Z issues. If they can't do all those types of things, then what they're doing now is not wasting their time, but maybe they should take a step back and do some more research and work a little more before developing the actual invention and jumping 2 steps forward. And that's what I'm trying to help people to also develop, and that's one of the big issues, as you talked about, is not connecting reality with your great idea.
Okay, last question. I see here that there's both NGOs, which are doing it out of the goodness of their hearts, and there's a lot of, what do you call them, non-NGOs,
for-profit
initiatives. Which one would you say, and I'm sure that there's not a definitive answer to that, but which one would you say works better when you come into Approach Africa? Which is a better motivator?
The for-profit or the not-for-profit?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking? It's a phenomenal question and one of the biggest questions now in the developing world. I'll tell you, in Haiti, when I was in Haiti and also when I was working in the West Bank, the biggest issue actually was with the not-for-profits. There was a lot of money coming in, donors didn't know where it was going, and there was a lot of corruption and there were a lot of failed projects. Donors wanted to see that certain organization built 28,000 houses in 3 months with this amount of money. They want to see numbers, they want to see numbers right up front. That's the not-for-profit world. Those things are not realistic, like I talked about before. A development project, ways to really penetrate Africa and to help it move forward 20, 30 years from now. The only way to really do that is to go and set up long-term projects, which you don't see immediate results. You want emergency disaster relief? Fine. Those are 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you'll see results. You want long-term relief, long-term progress, penetration into the market, then you need an investment where the investor, or the donor, investor for the for-profit, the donor for the not-for-profit, understands that this is a long-term project. So that's why when I was in Haiti last year, I worked for a not-for-profit, the government, and then I learned that they don't care as much about sustainability. They don't care as much about really educating the population. They care more about the numbers and kind of the PR and how to raise more money. And that's a major issue. Now, if you have the for-profit sector, you care about sustainability, you care about market penetration, you care about managing your budgets, you care about educating your workforce, so they will continue to manage your project for you for the next 10, 20 years. A combination has to be met by both, so because the for-profit world sometimes takes advantage of the ability to go into a rural village in Africa and basically utilize the resources there without anyone tracking them. Whereas a not-for-profit won't do that. On the other hand, a not-for-profit doesn't always think about sustainability or managing a budget because they think it's based on donor relations and donors. The money comes in, and when the money runs out, the money runs out, and they don't necessarily care as much as they should to really manage efficiently their funds and their projects. So it's definitely a combination of both. You have the moral aspect and you have the sustainable aspect, and they need to come together. I'm no longer for a purely non-for-profit development model. I would like all nonprofits to also develop a for-profit sustainable model if they're going to be not-for-profit. For for-profit companies, every for-profit company for-profit development organization should have also social benefit for the village. So coming together is really
coming together.
Absolutely.
Guy, thank you very much.
Sure. Thanks a lot.